does. This is John, you know that, and I'm trying to do a video to acknowledge your illness, that you cannot care. You have to hear something in your ear because you do not have the capacity to care based on a childhood injury. Now, I understand that we are not your blood relatives, and we did not understand what was wrong. Now that I do, I want you to understand that I had to go through a great deal of looking to understand how you can care. You want to be told how to care. First, I would suggest acknowledging the illness. Acknowledge the illness as to what it is. That the money got placed on you at birth. Got placed on you at birth. You got teased and taunted around it. Money's the devil. It's always been the devil. We all love it to a degree, and we have to have it. We use it while trusting in God, and it's written on the money itself. Now, in your situation, the compassion for it is the money got placed on you at birth. Care drives you nuts. You entered a care-based organization, and well, you called it a white-collar crime, and you did commit it. A lot of people are dead as a result, and I don't expect you to care about them because you can't care. You just want to know how to care. Well, in so doing, I'm telling you how to care. Turn that money over. Release the money. Release the money that caused non-care. As the money comes back to you, you will have the capacity to care. You will have the capacity. You will have a different capacity. You won't need to search out care and try to destroy it. You won't need to make demands around it. And don't need to be insane. You'll have a completely different objective. Release the money. Well, release it to where? Because you may not have a recall or memory. I've asked you to mail it. I've asked you to not hand a large something over to me. The fertilizer is very overwhelming. And I have to sort it and do things on my side to get it back to you so that hopefully you will be something different than what you are. That's the answer. That's the answer to the care equation. Release the money. Release it. Release it by mail. Release the money by mail. I've given you the address. Cannot figure out why. And so I'm doing this video because it's visual. It has an audio you can hear. Release the money. The money is what's causing the non-care. Because ineffectively and effectively, you are the problem. Even if you released it and something was done to help the organization restore reasonable order, you would get annoyed and you'd do it again. And children are dead as a result of what you've done. You've admitted it to me. You told me what you was going to do before you did it. And I am so sorry. Now, even so, asking me to look at my own money in order to save the lives of other people, when I was just simply trying to point out that all you had to do was love your money and leave others alone. That's where intelligence is involved and care is involved. And I guess you couldn't care enough to leave the organization alone. So the answer, I'm giving the answer. I'm verbally giving the answer. Release the money. Don't have it. Within 7 days or so, you will get 10% back. And then after a given period, you can get the middle portion back. I have to keep 10% based on what you've done to me. You don't care about it. Don't care and can't care. And you don't want to talk to them because you've got some kind of idiotic fear that I am doing things to you. Well, in order to find a solution, I have to be willing to think in those terms. I have to be willing to think in terms of doing something. I have options with the legal system. I'm not exactly sure that the avenues to go. I'm trying to tell you, if you wanted to care, and you say you want to care and don't know how, you care by releasing the money. Release it. I'm not going to keep it. I do not want to be bothered by you or your insanity. You will get it back, 10% first. I'll instruct you how to deal with it. The middle portion second. I'll instruct you. Please cooperate. I'm not the one that's being unreasonable. There are people dead as a result of what you've done. Families are destroyed, and an organization that was working properly is now dismantled, and it's somewhat effective to encourage people. However, it's not at a full capacity. I have asked you to release the money. We have to survive a planetary change. You're too hard to deal with. You're hateful, mean, point guns at people. Call the police on me if I come by. Based on your idiotic notion that I'm going to stay on your property and do things to you. Now, I do have to think in those terms that I project those things outwardly. The reason is a solution was called for. You asked me, was it fair to you and your child to not destroy the organization? That question was called in my ear, and I addressed it. I looked at it. I developed percentages to deal with your illness and hoping that you will do something different in the future by releasing the money and accepting it back and considering that it may not have been necessary for you to do what you did to us. The answer is to release the money. Release the money that told you to do these things. Release it. Release the money. That is the answer. I've given you a mailing address. I've texted you. I've sent you mail. You're trying to convince me that I'm crazy, and I had an organization full of people convincing me you were crazy. So I've tried to talk to you, and as a result of trying to speak, you like to bet me against my own money. You like to ask me to look at my money in order to stop it. It's not fair. Now, I'm not asking you to care. I'm asking you to listen to the answer of how to care. How to care is where you mail all the money to the address. Mail the money. The address in Raleigh's been given to you, and I've asked you to mail it. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't get to understand the avenues of non-care. I don't have the capacity to destroy an organization. I don't have the capacity to have people die next to me. I don't have the capacity to have an animal die because I didn't feed it. You have a sociopathic condition, and it's a result of the money. The money got placed on you at birth, and jealousy run between a couple, and it's very unfortunate. And me having to look at those jealousies and things that existed around the money that caused the condition is very painful. And I'm aggravated and tormented. It's not fair to me. Please mail the money. Mail all the money. Get it off of you. And then accept it back. And I'll keep 10% of it. I'm willing to talk to you. It makes me a little sick that nature has forced us at each other, and you're aware of us meeting by nature. And you told me from the get-go that you had set out to harm everyone because you didn't know what care was. If you want to know what care is, then release the money to me. I will get the 90% back to you totally, starting with 10%. I'm not trying to be hateful to you. I'm trying to come up with a solution to this problem. That is the solution. That money has a spiritual nature. If it was placed on you at birth, then just release it. Have none. And then as it comes back, and it hasn't occurred to anybody else, they're just collecting from you, and the money tells them to attach to themselves do with whatever they want to do. That money was to be used for a planetary change if nature is involved, and I believe it is in fact involved. Nature's in fact involved. So please release the money. I don't understand. I don't understand why the people around you will not release the money, because, and I do, in the fact that they don't know who I am. They assume that I would just take it, attach it to myself, and then they would have to listen to you. Say, why did you tell me to do that? Well, we have a planetary change coming up. We're way behind, and I was supposed to do this in 2012 and couldn't. You kept betting me against God, asking me to look at my money until it's exploded. I don't know if everyone's just suicidal or nature's suicidal, but this is the answer. The answer is mail the money. Mail the money. You need to hear it in person. Well, you have isolated yourself. You no longer go to groups that I go to. And it's hard for me to attend because I have to look at the damages that you've done to them. They are not able to help each other. The people that were thin are large. The people that were large are now thin, and most are single and separated from their families. This is painful to me because of what you've told me, and you put me at odds with my friends. These things are unfair to me. So to be fair to you, and you need to hear in your ear, I'm saying release the money. I'm going to put this video on and hope something gives. Otherwise, I'm going to embark on something without you. If you cannot be reasonable, you cannot be logical, you cannot understand simple things, I don't know how to work with you. Nature's given me a really hard job. I've asked you to release all the money based on a sociopathic condition where you can't care and accept it back to see if anything's different. At least you would I would be able to work with you. I would know that you're rational, reasonable, and willing to take care of a matter that belonged to you. And it's unfair to me to consider accepting all the money and keeping it based on the fact that you are attached to money in a way that other people aren't, and it would not be good for you. So I would like you to do something with it. You need the condition to do so. I do not want to have the burden of holding your hand. You put me and one of my friends at an odd that I just do not like. I'm trying to console myself by speaking about this relationship I've had with you, what you've done to me personally, what you've done to the organization. It's extremely painful. I understand it hurts you to care, so try not to care about it too much. Just understand that it's not logical to do me this way. It is not logical. I'm not going to easily return to that organization until these matters are taken care of, and until we've got something to work with, and I believe you would help us. You would help us if you release the money, accept it back. I believe you will repair the damages because we need that organization. We will need these churches. We have overpopulated, and we have got to do something to induce survival around a planet change. It is nothing more than something that we will mundanely accept when it occurs. We need the means to do so. Please stop. Please stop this insanity of ignoring and mail the money. Mail the money, Doug. Doug, mail the money. Adolph Douglas Krell, would you please mail the money? Please mail it. Thank you.